Hey everybody, Michael Crump here. Have you ever wanted to clone an Xbox 360 hard disk drive like I have in this picture right here to maybe another Xbox 360 hard disk drive in order to maybe use that in another machine or give it to a friend? In this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how I made a duplicate copy of my original Xbox 360 hard disk drive that had all of my settings, all of my games, everything configured just like I like it in my RGH3 360 over to another Xbox 360 hard disk drive. Let's go ahead and let's look at how you can do the same starting right now. What I would recommend is to have at least two of the hard disk drives that are the exact same size. So, for example, both of these are 256 gigabyte hard disk drives. Now, there are other options in case you don't have the same exact size, but if you have the same exact size, then you're going to be in good shape. And so, if you look at the connector that is on the Xbox 360 Slim hard disk drive, then what you will see is that it's really just a typical SATA connector. Now, there's a ton of different ways in order to get SATA connected up to a USB on your PC, which is what you're going to need to do. Now, just because I had this hardware around the house, I went ahead and used one of my IDE to USB adapters. Now, this right here is the actual adapter itself. It's plugged into my 360, and then this cable is obviously going to my USB port on my computer, as well as this is just going to a power outlet in order to provide power to the hard disk drive. Now, there's a bunch of different adapters that you can get. You can take a search and find a couple of good ones for a relatively cheap price. And for the most part, you wouldn't actually have to go IDE to SATA as we're doing here and then back to USB. You can find those direct SATA to USB adapters. And then finally, if you don't actually have any of the official Microsoft hard disk drives, you can always buy these sort of replacement cases. Now, I bought two of these and I think I spent right around $10 on Amazon for two blank cases. And I just wanted to show you that there are options for at least the Xbox 360 Slim Edition if you want to use them. Now, I am using again the official hard disk drive for this video today, but all you would need to do would be to buy a 2.5 SATA hard disk drive, and you just simply pop it in here, put the top back on it, and then you can plug that into your Xbox 360, format it, and then it would be ready to use. So to begin, I went ahead and I connected this up to my computer via USB, and I want to make a full backup of this original hard disk drive, and I want to copy that back over to my other Xbox 360 hard disk drive. So the tool that I will be using is going to be Fat Explorer. Now, if you come over here and you go into the download, what you can see is that there is obviously a 64-bit version as well as a 32-bit version, and this is only going to work for Windows. One other thing to note is that there is a 7-day trial period. Now, I found that in this 7-day trial period, it's more than enough time at least to get your initial backups and restores completed, but there's a bunch of other good features that's inside of Fat Explorer that you may want to explore as well. So go ahead and download whichever version of this is appropriate for your system, and we'll pick up from there. Okay, so this is the main interface of Fat Explorer, and where you're going to go to is once you have that plugged in to your USB port, you would simply come over here to devices. Now, I went ahead and previously loaded it. Now, yours may take a few minutes in order to get it loaded and showing in this view right here. Now, there's a couple of different things that you can do. Now, this first one is called Integrate into Windows. Now, if you go back to the information page, make sure this has a little green check mark that says the integration driver is installed and running normally. Now, if it does have that, you can simply come right here to Integrate into Windows. and it will ask you to assign a drive letter and which partition to mount. So you can go to the backwards compatibility partition, the content partition, and so forth. And then you could press done right here. And now you would have access to all of the files on your Xbox 360 hard disk drive inside of Windows. So you could obviously copy and move things through this interface right here. And then once you're done, you just come over here and you would click unmount. I just wanted to show you that because that's typically functionality that you're going to want as soon as this backup completes. Now, what we need to do in order to get the backup, we need to go to Open with Fat Explorers, Toolkit View, and from here, we're just going to go straight to Create Backup. So what it says here is create a complete backup of your device. Now, if you press the Start the Backup Process button, then it will ask for a place to actually store that image. Now, one thing that I will say is that wherever you want to save a backup to, make sure you have enough space first. So in this example, this is a 256 gigabyte image, and I just decided to put it on another USB drive for the backup. So once you have the folder selected, you can go ahead and give it a name. By default, it will put this in for you, and then just simply press the Save button. Okay, and so it might take a bit of time depending on your current configuration, but finally you will see this screen right here, which says backup was completed successfully. And now at this point, what I would do would be I would go ahead and close out of this toolkit view here, and I would really just go ahead and shut down Fat Explorer and then connect up your additional Xbox 360 hard disk drive that is blank to your USB port. And then from there, go ahead and reload Fat Explorer. And from here, you would want to click back over on Devices, open with Fat Explorer's Toolkit view, and then take the option to restore the backup, and then start the restoration process. And by default, it should show the image file that you just created just a moment ago. Make sure that is selected and then press open. Eventually, you will see this screen right here, which says the restoration completed successfully, and it will say you need to reload your device. And now at this point, you could take out the Xbox 360 hard disk drive, unplug it from your USB port and put it into a 360, but there is a few things that you might want to do first. And so you may see this little warning screen right here, and if we click on it and we do the start analysis, what it will do is it will analyze your entire storage device and list the most fragmented items. Now, once this finishes up, it will show all of the files that are currently fragmented. And here is mine. And if you wanted to, you could come down here and select defrag entire device in order to get rid of any fragmented files. Now, one other thing that I would suggest is coming over here to where it says install optimized system folders. And it says right here, installing optimized system folders can result in a dramatic performance increase when loading content. Now it says obviously it's best to install these after a fresh format, but we're just going to go ahead and do that on our current system right now. So you would just simply come right here and press the install button, and you'll just see this installation completed successfully. Now, I believe you're ready to take the hard drive out and just go ahead and place that into your 360. And now, one other thing that I did want to mention here is that you may have to reset up your games, your apps, etc. inside of Aurora when it first launches. So if it first launches and everything is kind of black or grayed out, then all you need to do is just go back in and set up your content. Well, anyway, that is going to do it for this one, and I will see you on the next one. Michael.